So, Benjamin Appl, thank you so much for taking time to chat with us today. I have so many things that I want to ask you about. So, we first presented you in 2019, and you were an instant hit with our Portland audiences, as you are pretty much everywhere you go. But I wanted to ask you a few things about your background, just for those people who maybe don't know that much about you. So you had the very good fortune of being mentored by the legendary singer Dietrich Fischer-Dieskau, and I'm sure you were the envy of all young singers. Just wondering how that came about, and maybe you'd share with us one or two special memories from that relationship.
Well, Pat, first of all, I'm so excited and thrilled coming back to Portland and to see familiar faces, but also hopefully meeting new people. I have very, very fond memories of my time there. It was actually a gorgeous day, or gorgeous 2, 3 days when I was there, beautiful weather. So I was very lucky. Had good food there, went to the bookstore. I had a really good time there. So I'm looking very much forward to coming back.
Thank you.
Now coming back to your question. Yes, of course, like for most of the young singers, Dietrich Fischer-Dieskau, particularly when you do lieder and songs, is the hero for everyone. And therefore, I was brave enough to apply for a masterclass in Austria for him. And the idea was that each singer had to propose 10 Schubert songs, which we would like to work with him. And I've heard before that Dietrich Fischer-Dieskau was quite tricky in masterclasses, and he could be almost sometimes a bit rude to the students. So I came up with a list of 30 Schubert songs, which in the recording we had to send to him. A few weeks later, he came back and proposed 4 songs, and all 4 songs were not part of my 30 song list. So completely different ones. That was the beginning. And then the masterclass on the second day, beginning of the second day, his assistant came to the young baritone next to me and said, Mr. Dietrich Fischer-Dieskau would like to see you in his green room. And we never saw this boy again. So I found out later, there was this tradition, almost a tradition, that on the second day he removed someone from the masterclass, thinking that the recording didn't match with the real voice on stage or in the course itself. And on the last day, his assistant came to me and said, Mr. Fischer-Dieskau would like to see you in his green room. And I was like shaking, but he offered to me to work with him privately. And since this moment for 4 years, I went to his houses in Berlin and Bavaria and stayed there for 3-4 days. We worked 6-7 hours a day on all the repertoire I had at this time, and up till 2 weeks before he died. I saw him regularly, and he was really the kindest person, a real mentor to me, and not just teaching technical things or interpretation, but also how to put a program together, how to approach promoters, how to approach on stage, how to communicate with an audience. He put my name forward to promoters. So he was a real mentor. And still today, I'm so lucky and grateful for this experience.
Yeah, what an experience. Wow. It's amazing. So you've been very busy since we last saw you in 2019. So many things going on. But one, you becoming a film star now. And I wanted to ask you about these incredible projects you've been involved in. One documentary film called Breaking Music. Can you tell us more about that? How that came about? What was that like?
There was a request by a film director from Argentina, and he wanted to meet me in Hamburg, and I thought, okay. So he came out of the blue, no idea how he found me. We had a good chat, and his idea was to break boundaries and to bring music together. And the idea of this film is that I, as a German song singer, cancelled 3 months of my performing schedule to go to Buenos Aires to experience tango, because suddenly I experienced this love for tango. And it brings really these 2 worlds together, but also looks into differences. And I went to Buenos Aires in the end, not for 3 months, but only for 11 days. But it was a very, very intense time where I only was able to sleep for 3 hours, because otherwise we went to longer nights till 3-4 in the morning and so on. And it was really the most extraordinary experience because we classical musicians can learn so much from these tango singers or instrumentalists in terms of freedom, of listening to each other, of playing with the text, and improvising. And that was something I found, and the connection with emotions. That's something I found incredibly inspirational.
Did you have an interest in tango before this project, or know much about it?
I loved ballroom dancing. Many years ago, actually, I was. I don't know if that's something in the US people know, but the Viennese Opera Ball. My ex-girlfriend at this time wanted to be a debutante. These are the ones who are dressing up in white dresses and with the beautiful tails and opening the ball. So you enter and everyone looks at you, and then you open the ball and dance first. So that's something I've done in my life, a lot of ballroom dancing. But I love tango music, but I was not really into tango dancing. But that's something what was really extraordinary. I don't know whom of you went to Buenos Aires, but how it's really rooted in the people and it's so connected to their identity, and that's something very, very fascinating.
Yeah, it really is. Do you know if we can see this film in the US?
I don't know. It has been shown a few times all over South America, Latin America. I don't know. Generally, the production company is actually based in the US.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to reach out to him because I
Maybe
tried
I will
to
let you know.
find it, and couldn't find it. But I know
I will let you know.
I'd love to see it. Just the trailers that I've seen look so intriguing about it. Oh, yeah, looks fascinating.
It was fun.
And another film you were involved in called Winterreise, which obviously featuring amazing Schubert song cycle. Tell us about that. Filmed in the Swiss Alps. How did that happen?
During the lockdown, I saw a picture of one of my students. He performed in Switzerland on 2,300 meters in the Swiss Alps. A crazy but amazing director of a festival built a wooden tower there in the middle of nowhere. And he got only the permission of 5 years because it's protected land and it has to be removed again. And I saw this building and I couldn't believe my eyes. I thought that's fantasy world or something. And I got in touch with this guy, and I went there in the first year of COVID, so in 2020, and I sat in this tower, and I really thought that's a place for a Winterreise. During this time, my film director, who does a lot for the BBC, was in touch with me, and I told him about this project, and he was also fascinated, and we were so grateful that the BBC commissioned that, and it's the entire song cycle by Franz Schubert, 72 minutes of music, which we filmed in the tower and outside of the tower. When we arrived, it was the beginning of November. It was like a summer day, and we thought, oh my God, we really need snow for Winterreise, and we have to. And suddenly, overnight, it was snowing and snowing. We had like 80 centimeters snow, and the pictures are amazing. It was very challenging to sing outside because everything you see in this film is sang live. So I stood outside for hours in snowstorms and really by minus 16 degrees, and I was like shaking and freezing. The pictures are amazing. I suffered a lot. I still can't watch the film because they're so traumatic experiences.
Oh, no.
But the pictures I think are very beautiful. So that was amazing that the BBC actually featured 90 minutes in the end, 90 minutes of German song repertoire on the channel.
Yeah, that's amazing. Fantastic. Yeah, incredible. It must have been difficult to sing under those circumstances.
It was because, we had a wonderful camera guy, but he was very particular and very precise about everything. So you stood there for 2 hours till every camera was set and everything was perfect, and you stand, and then suddenly say, "Now sing." And you have to sing, and you get only 1 or 2 chances. You can't repeat over and over like in a recording. So you had to be always focused and always fresh, but it was tough.
Yeah,
but interesting.
Yeah. All right, but you're not going to give up singing to be a film star all the time, right?
No,
No.
it's interesting to do, but the most wonderful thing is actually sharing a concert with a live audience and
Yeah.
communicating and exchanging and connecting with people, and there's nothing like that. And that's also, I think, everyone realized that during the pandemic, for us artists and for the audience, hopefully as well, is really this experience which is so can be so magical and disappears in a second. And
Yeah.
the only thing
Sure.
what stays is a memory and
Yeah.
an atmosphere we remember, but it's something shared and gone, and that's magical, I find.
Absolutely. And that's a great segue because I want to ask you about the program that you're going to sing for us. It's so fascinating. Just yeah, tell us more about it and how you put this program together.
Um, well, the theme of night has always been, of course, in all uh, in all art, painting, poetry, music has always been an important thing. It's every one of us has an individual, personal relationship to night, experiences of nights, something seductive, something dangerous, something worrying, something exciting, something forbidden. There's so many aspects of the night, and therefore I really wanted to put a program together which somehow spotlights in different sections in groups the night. And I wanted to make a program which is approachable for everyone. So people who are not into song recitals or not into German leads should not feel frightened coming there, or should be taken by the hands and guided through this evening. It's, of course, German song repertoire, which is my core repertoire, pieces like from by Schubert or Schumann, but then also a lot of English songs, French song, Russian song, from different periods. And there's also a cabaret song in it, which is quite funny. There's the famous Earl King song, which is very frightening, about a father riding with his son on a horse through the night, and the child has fever and sees something, sees a person, an Earl King, and the father doesn't understand really what the boy is experiencing. So there's this traumatic experience as well in the Earl King. And what's also very important for me as a German, I'm right now having a lot of different projects actually about the time of the Nazi time in Germany. And there's another project I'm doing with a 97 years old Auschwitz survivor right now, who lives in Hungary. She wanted to become a solo pianist, and the Nazis broke her back in the concentration camp. She was the only survivor of the entire family. The other ones were sent immediately to the gas chambers. So she talks about her life, and I perform music which is important to her, or has been important throughout her life. And this is a very important time for me as a German, and something I am so grateful to meet these people. I'm the last generation of the Germans really to fully understand and having an emotional connection with this time. And I think it's very important and important task of my generation to bring it to the next generation as well. And therefore, I chose also for this program in Portland and so on. I chose two songs by a wonderful lady called Ilse Weber Rosenam in a concentration camp of Theresienstadt. She looked after kids, so like a nurse. Sorry, not a nun, a nurse. And she looked after the kids and played the guitar and composed all these very simple but very touching songs. And they were all deported to Auschwitz. And when the kids were supposed to go straight to the gas chambers, she, out of free will, decided to go with them. And there's this people talked afterwards that apparently while they closed the doors of the gas chambers, they heard the Ilse Weber singing together with the kids this particularly one song Vigala, which is also part of this program. So it's a very, very emotional, deep program, not just sad or thoughtful, but actually there are also some, as I said, some also more lighter moments, almost funny moments. So I try to really cover all kind of human emotions we all carry in us. As a night also has different facets, this recital also hopefully brings different colors and so on to the people.
Yeah, sounds fascinating. It must be emotional for you singing the program. Like you've sung this program before, right? Yeah.
I've done it a few times,
Mhm.
and I really think every time also for James and me, it's a very, very strong program and a very, as I said, it's something. Sometimes you sing programs in the repertoire which speaks to people more in this country or in this country. Uh, the response in England is a different one than in Germany or in France and so on, or in Asia. But this is a program you perform all over the place, and it's something everyone connects very strongly and deeply to it. And that's also why I chose it for this tour in the US, because as I said, I want to really bring people closer to this art form, which I love more than anything else.
Yeah. Well, we can't wait. We're so excited to have you back, and this program just sounds amazing. So thank you for taking time with us today. I know you are so busy with everything you're doing. So we are just very much looking forward to seeing you in a few weeks and in person back on stages. So thank you.
Me too. No, thank you, Pat, for your time and for re-inviting me. And I can't wait
Of course.
to hug you, and to see many, many people.
Well, I hope you bring some nice weather with you, because so far we have not
I will,
had it here. So
I'll try my very best.
good.
All the
Okay.
best to you.
See you soon.
Ciao, ciao. Ciao.